Hello, hello. Welcome to Tuesday Express Training. Laurie Conrod here, and this is a training that I thought I would pass on to you. I discovered it recently. It's actually from Napoleon Hill, of course, from Think and Grow Rich, but I think this particular training, he did this long after or definitely after he wrote that book. And it's stuff that I don't remember from Think and Grow Rich. I read that book quite a long time ago, and it's had a really good positive effect on me. And so I thought I would pass on what I learned to you. So this whole concept of having a definiteness of purpose, and the fact that it's the starting point of all achievement, makes a lot of sense, but at the same time, it gets really deep. And so there's a lot to go over here in the next 30 minutes. So I'm going to just dive right in. And these are the four objectives that I had for this training: was why and how to define your purpose to help you succeed. And this doesn't have to be your lifelong, I want world peace type of purpose. It's just the purpose that you have right now in your life that you want to accomplish. The 9 basic motives that inspire all voluntary action. This is really, really powerful, and it's so relevant to your marketing and your sales. So we're going to go over that. The 4 premises that support your purpose. There's actually more than 4, but how I did this as a summary of what he taught, I'm just going to kind of go over 4 of them specifically, and how to use them, and why people suffer from a lack of confidence and how to fix that. That's so rampant in our industry, in our profession. People who go into network marketing, affiliate marketing, online marketing, entrepreneurship, trying to grow their business, even if it's, a catering business or whatever it is, people suffer from a lack of confidence, and they're not really sure why. They think it's them, right? And it is them in a manner of speaking, but we're going to go over that too. Okay, so let's get right into it. Why and how to define your purpose to help you succeed. So what he talks about is that until you define and have a definiteness of your purpose, you have no starting point. So what this does is it gives you a starting point that everything else is going to revolve around. Okay, and we all talk about goals and objectives and things like that. This is deeper than that. What you want to do is define what your objective is, be very specific and definite about it. So we all have a product that we're selling, right? Your definiteness of purpose could be, I want to be number 1 on the leaderboard in my company and sell X amount per month or something like that. It could be, I want to sell 1 widget per month consistently, only working 5 hours a week or something like that. I mean, he didn't really go into what your purpose should be. He just said define it, because that's personal to you. But then what you must do is, once you define it, right, and you're very specific about it, you have to create a definite plan, and then you must take action. And that these 3 things are what's going to create the reality of your purpose coming to, to fruition. And since I watched this training and I did this, and I actually came up with 2 definitenesses of purpose, the way he puts it, and I'm going to show you what you do with that on an ongoing basis to help you make them actually happen. I have created so much clarity in what I do when I wake up every morning that it's really, really helpful. So let me show you everything I want to tell you, and then you'll see how it comes full circle. So once you have your definiteness of purpose, and for us, in most cases, it has to do with our marketing and our sales. You have to understand the 9 basic motives that inspire all voluntary action, because what we're trying to do is have people take voluntary action, right? You want them to buy your stuff. So what he says is you can't ask anyone to do anything without giving them an adequate motive. In sales, you have to plant the motive, otherwise they will have absolutely no reason to buy. And these 9 motives are all human nature, right? So we have to work with human nature and have it all come full circle in your marketing and in your sales. So basically, he says you have no right to ask for the sale if you haven't planted the motive. So you've got to plant the motive. So which ones of these are you going to use in your marketing to plant the proper motive to get someone to buy your stuff? The emotion of love, the emotion of sex, the desire for material gain, the desire for self-preservation, the desire for freedom of body and mind. This is a really big one for us in the home-based business industry or the entrepreneur environment. The desire for self-expression and recognition. That could be another biggie. The desire for life after death, the desire for revenge, and the emotion of fear. A lot of people use fear in their marketing. I don't tend to like to use that, but a lot of people do. The emotion of love, I like to use love, how much you love your family, how much you love your kids, how much you want to spend time with them. Freedom is huge, all of these. So you can decide what motivators you want to use in your marketing, but the point is that if you don't plant a motive, people won't take that voluntary action, and they won't buy. So all of these are going to be building blocks on top of whatever your definiteness of purpose is, because whatever motives you use are going to support that definiteness of purpose. And if you don't get what that means, you'll see as we go through everything. Okay, so let's talk about the premises. The first one, once you have your definite of purpose defined, right, to yourself, your objective, your definiteness of purpose, I want to be number 1 on the leaderboard, I want to sell X amount of things per month, I want to create a coaching program that helps certain entrepreneurs, whatever your definiteness of purpose is. When you repeat whatever it is in your mind, and I'm talking a lot of repetition, plus the burning desire that you want that definite of purpose to happen, that creates habit and right action, which makes your definiteness of purpose happen. Okay? And this is really, really powerful. You must repeat in your mind all the time your definiteness of purpose. So you're going to want to, I'm going to go through this later, but you're going to want to write it down, and you're going to want to read it many times a day, first thing in the morning, last thing before you go to sleep, in the middle of the day. You're going to repeat it over and over and over again, but with burning desire. Like if you have to have an emotional, I'll say, attachment to that definiteness of purpose, because if there is no emotion, it's not going to happen. You can repeat something over and over again. I want to be first on the leaderboard, I want to be first on the leaderboard. But if you have no enthusiasm, if you have no burning desire, it won't work. You need to have something that you feel really emotional about. And what happens is it reprograms your subconscious mind, which creates the right actions to happen, and before you know it, momentum is happening, and you're getting closer and closer to what you want to achieve. Okay? So that's the first one. You've got to be willing to do this. Number 2, the principle of faith. you have to have complete faith that you will succeed in your purpose. You know, we don't know how things are going to happen. We don't always know how, right? You have to accept the fact that you don't know how things are going to happen, but you must have complete faith that they will happen. Okay? Successful people don't have doubts. They don't think about doubts. They don't think about worrying about things. You must train your mind to have complete faith that you're going to succeed in your purpose. So you've got to be willing to do this too. Number 3, the power of thought is the only thing that humans have control over. So if you accept that, right, it's really the only thing we have control over. Think about, you know, the Jews in the concentration camps in World War II, okay, and that very famous book, is it Man's Search for Meaning? Oh gosh, I'd have to look it up. But anyway, the man who wrote that book, he was in the concentration camps, and basically what he says in the book is that they took away everything. The Nazis took away everything humanly possible, you know, from all of the prisoners in the camps, but they could not take away a man's thoughts, right? They can't take away your thoughts unless they drug you, they, you know, put you in a coma, or they give you drugs and alter your state of thinking, but they couldn't take away his thoughts. And so that was the only thing they had control over. And that's the only thing any of us really have control over, right? We make decisions every day and we think we have control, but you know, our thoughts are what creates those decisions. So the power of thought is the only thing we have control over. You've got to use your thoughts so that you can transform into your definite of purpose and create that purpose. So you have to be willing to train yourself to think only thoughts that serve your purpose, which means no worrying, no complaining, no, uh-oh, what if this is going to happen, that type of stuff. This takes practice, but if you realize how important all this is, it's going to get you to that definite of purpose much faster, and it will actually get you there. And then the 4th premise is that universal intelligence can only be accessed through the subconscious mind. Now, he makes this statement and says, I can't really prove it, basically, but everything I've studied up to this point shows me that in order to get access to this universal intelligence, which is the only thing that knows how things are going to happen, right? Because we don't know how things are really going to happen. We can guess and we can hope and we can wish and we can plan for and all kinds of stuff, but we don't know how our definite of purpose is actually going to happen, you know, completely. This can only be accessed through the subconscious mind. And, oops, let me go back. The subconscious mind is what gets molded how you want it to be through repetition, burning desire, faith, and the power of your thoughts. So these 3 things are what's going to create number 4. Okay, so if you follow that, raise your hand and we'll make sure that you're following me. You might need to watch this again if you're not familiar with these kinds of concepts, but you know, the popular movie The Secret went into a lot of this, but I will say that Napoleon Hill goes even deeper, and these exercises that you can do that are really specific are what's going to get you to where you want to go and create that definiteness of purpose. And if you don't have your definiteness of purpose, you're really just kind of scrambling every day, sort of in the direction that you want to go, but it's not really solid. And it's the starting point, like he says, of all achievement. So use your starting point and start at the beginning. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to talk about is why people suffer from lack of confidence. I thought this was really powerful. A lot of people think that lack of confidence comes from lack of experience, and I think that that is true, but the way he described it was people suffer from a lack of confidence because they do not have faith in their ability to control their thoughts and create what they want in life. Okay? So if you think about it, and this is how he backs up his statement, is that successful people have absolutely no doubt that they can get it done. They don't have any worries. They don't know how it's going to happen. They know they don't have control over how it's going to happen. They just know that it will happen because they have the will to put action into right thought, right? They know that they can control their thoughts. They know they have the power to control their thoughts and that that's the only power that they do have and that they have faith in this. Okay? So let's not depend on experience. And this is the essence. It's the total essence of when people first get into network marketing or affiliate marketing. They have no experience. They have no sales experience. They have no maybe even networking experience. But once they see what other people have achieved, they know that it can happen, right? And all they need to do is continue to work towards their definite of purpose by controlling their thoughts and having faith that it's all going to work for them too. And so that's really a supporting concept of what Napoleon Hill is saying. So you have to actually train yourself to not have worries, because we're all trained to have worries, right? And remind yourself that you don't know how it's going to happen, but it just will, because you do have control of your thoughts, and you can keep controlling your thoughts and keep programming your subconscious to access universal intelligence and give you the messages of what actions you should take next. And they may not always work, but it doesn't matter, because everything is a learning process, right? So that is the concept of why people suffer from lack of confidence and how to fix it, okay? You have to just practice making sure your thoughts are positive and not negative, like worrying or second guessing things or, doubting yourself, any of that. And then the other concept I thought was really cool that's going to help you in your sales and in your marketing is that we know that the brain broadcasts and receives thoughts constantly, right? And that all of those thoughts are vibrations, right? The vibrations are either positive or negative. We want to stay positive. We want to always be thinking, how can I do something? Not, is this going to happen, but how can I make it happen? And when you vibrate those thoughts before a sale, before you do a webinar, before you write an email, before you hit send on an email, before you do a presentation, before you talk to a prospect, if you vibrate the thoughts of a successful sale before coming into contact with a prospect, and you know ahead of time they will buy, those, the universe gives back what you put out, right? So always know ahead of time that they're going to buy. And when you practice this over and over and over again, you are going to come into much stronger belief that these things can actually happen and that they will happen. Just like the successful people who have no worries, we're making you into a successful person that has no worries, that you don't care how it's going to happen, that it just will, because you have faith and because you vibrate the right thoughts that are going to make things happen for you. So let's go full circle. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning here, and this is really important. Let's go here. So this is the starting point of all achievement. You must define whatever your definiteness of Purpose is, and write it down. You have to write it down. And then you have to repeat it over and over and over again with a burning desire, right? So you're going to write it down, and then you're going to read it with enthusiasm and emotion. You know, in the morning when you wake up, at night before you go to sleep, and then during the day too. And just feel good. Feel good about it every time you read it and every time you think it. And every time you think it, you are going to be reprogramming your subconscious to believe it and to have faith. Faith. And it's going to move you closer and closer to infinite intelligence to give you back what you're thinking and to mold the universe into helping you achieve your definiteness of purpose. So that's all of it in a nutshell. And take it and make it work for you. So I hope you enjoyed this. I thought it was really, really powerful. And it's his first principle of success. And I hope it helps you. So if there's any questions, shoot them in the question box. And if I don't see any questions, I'm going to let you all go. I really appreciate you all being here. And I hope this helps you just as much as it's helped me. I'm loving reading my Definiteness of Purpose and having that help me get rid of all distractions and all the things that aren't really related to that happen, that so easily creep into my everyday life and that wastes time. So when you've got your Definiteness of Purpose and you write it down and you implement this and you do all this, you're going to start feeling better and better every day. And you'll know not to waste time on things that don't relate to this. Okay? And you're going to become stronger and stronger and stronger in how you guide your thoughts, what thoughts you have, and it's just going to help you be successful. So I don't see any questions. I'm going to let you go. I will see you next week. And thanks for being at Tuesday Express Training. I'll talk to you soon.